the bookshop on Cedar Street. There's a town in the Pacific Northwest, a little place you might have driven through once, maybe twice. The kind of town that doesn't show up on the big highway signs. You have to know it's there. You have to want to find it. Tonight. The rain is falling. Not a storm, not a downpour, just a steady, gentle rain. The kind that whispers against rooftops. The kind that taps on windows like an old friend asking to come inside. This is Millbrook, Oregon. Population not quite 3,000. Give or take. The main street runs about 6 blocks. There's a hardware store, a diner with a neon coffee cup in the window, a barber shop with one of those old spinning poles, red, white, and blue, still turning after all these years. And, at the far end of the street, past the old movie theater, Comest, past the antique shop with the rocking chairs on the porch, then there's a bookstore. Cedar Street Books. It's been here since 1962. 3 generations of the same family. The sign out front is hand-painted. Forest green letters on a cream-colored background. The paint is chipped in places now, weathered by decades of Oregon rain, but the letters are still readable. Still welcoming. The building itself is 2 stories tall. Red brick, ivy climbing up the eastern wall. There's a bay window at the front. The glass is old, wavy in that way that only antique glass can be, when the streetlights hit it just right. Everything inside looks soft, golden, like a memory you're not quite sure you had. Let's go inside. The door is heavy, solid oak. It has one of those brass bells attached to the top, the kind that jingles when you push it open. Not a sharp sound, a friendly one, like a greeting from the shop itself. The first thing you notice is the smell. Old paper. That's the main note, the soft, vanilla-like scent of books that have been sitting on shelves for years, decades even. There's dust, too. But the good kind. The kind that settles on things that are loved, things that are waiting to be discovered again. Underneath that, there's coffee, fresh brewed, coming from somewhere in the back, a small pot. Probably made an hour ago. Still warm enough to drink, still filling the air with that rich, earthy comfort. And there's wood, old wood. The floorboards creak underfoot. They've been creaking that same way since Kennedy was in office. Each step tells a story. Each groan of the timber is like a voice saying, "Gun. Welcome back." The ceiling is high. Pressed tin, painted white a long time ago. Now it's more of a cream color. There are water stains in one corner. Nobody ever fixed them. They've just become part of the place, part of its character. Bookshelves line every wall. They reach from floor to ceiling. Dark walnut, heavy and sturdy. Some of them have glass doors, the kind with little brass handles that you have to turn just so. Others are open, inviting you to run your fingers along the spines, to pull something down, to get lost for a while. There's a ladder on a brass rail. It slides along the wall. You can push it with one hand. Hear the soft rumble of the wheels on the track. Climb up and reach the books on the highest shelves. The ones nobody looks at anymore. The ones that are waiting. Patient and quiet. Tonight. The shop is nearly empty. Just a few souls. Scattered among the aisles, moving slowly, speaking in murmurs, or not speaking at all, just W, being here. existing in this pocket of warmth while the rain continues outside. W. Let's meet Ellie. She's behind the counter tonight. Has been for about 4 hours now. Her shift ends at 9. It's currently, quote, let's see, 7:42. Ellie is 26 years old. She has brown hair, the kind that's almost black when it's wet. Right now, it's pulled back in a loose ponytail. A few strands have escaped. They frame her face, curl a little at the ends. She's wearing a green sweater, oversized. The sleeves come down past her wrists. She has to push them up when she's working. They keep falling back down. She doesn't seem to mind. Her eyes are hazel, more green than brown tonight, catching the light from the old brass lamp on the counter. She's reading a book. Of course she is. It's a paperback. The cover is worn. The spine is cracked in 3 places. She's read it before, maybe 4 times. But it's one of those books that feels different every time. The counter is old. Solid oak. Matching the door, there's a brass cash register that doesn't work anymore. It's just for show now. The real transactions happen on a little tablet tucked behind it. But the old register stays. Nobody would dream of moving it. It's been there too long. It's part of the story. There's a cat on the counter, too. His name is Hemingway. He's a gray tabby. Big, maybe 16 pounds. He's been with the shop for almost 9 years now. Just showed up one morning. Walked in through the back door like he owned the place. The owner at the time. Ellie's grandmother. She took one look at him and said, well, I suppose you live here now. And he did. Hemingway is sleeping right now, curled up next to the lamp, his tail wrapped around his nose. Every now and then, Pa. His whiskers twitch, dreaming of something. Maybe mice. Maybe birds. Maybe nothing at all. Just the peaceful, aimless dreams of a well-loved cat. Ellie reaches over, scratches behind his ear. He purrs. Doesn't wake up. Just purrs. The rain is picking up now. You can hear it on the roof. A little louder. A little more insistent. The building has a skylight in the back. One of those old industrial ones. Metal frame. Wire-reinforced glass. The rain drums against it in a steady rhythm. Tap, 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 tap. It's not a pattern, really, but your mind wants to make it one. Wants to find meaning in the randomness. That's what we do. We look for stories, even in the rain. Outside. Key. The streetlights have come on. There are only 3 on this block. Old-fashioned ones, cast iron. They look like something out of a postcard from the 1940s, because that's exactly what they are. The town restored them about 15 years ago. People said it was a waste of money. But now, nobody can imagine the street without them. Their light is yellow, warm. Not like the harsh white of modern LEDs. This light has character. It pools on the wet sidewalk, reflects off the puddles, makes everything look like it's glowing from within. A car passes by. Slow. Headlights cutting through the mist. The tires hiss on the wet pavement. The sound fades as it turns the corner. Then, none. Quiet again. Just the rain. Just the warmth. Just the smell of books and coffee and old wood. Non, let me tell you about the back room. There's a door behind the counter. It has a sign that says, "Employees only." But that's really just a suggestion. The regulars know they're welcome back there. It's where the real magic happens. The back room is smaller than you'd expect. Maybe 15 feet by 20. The ceiling is lower here. Exposed beams. You can see the original construction, the bones of the building. There's a wood stove in the corner. Cast iron. Black. It's been here since the beginning. Tonight, quote, it's burning, low and steady. The fire crackles behind the glass door, orange and gold, throwing shadows on the walls. There's a small table, 3 mismatched chairs, a lamp with a stained glass shade, green and amber. It casts patterns on the table, on the walls, on the old Persian rug that covers most of the floor. The rug is worn, threadbare in places. The colors have faded over the years. But you can still see what it used to be. Deep reds, rich blues, a pattern of flowers and vines. Someone brought it back from somewhere. A long time ago. Now it just, Pat, belongs here. There's a window that looks out onto the alley. The glass is wet with rain. You can see the brick wall of the building next door, a drain pipe running down, the water rushing through it, gurgling. Like a small stream on the walls. There are photographs, black and white mostly, some sepia. They show the shop through the years. Opening day, 1962. A crowd of people outside, women in dresses with full skirts, men in hats, everyone smiling. There's one from 1978, a book signing. The author is long forgotten now. But look at the crowd. Look at the excitement in their faces. Books meant something different then. Or maybe they meant the same thing. We just didn't have as many distractions. And there's one from 1995. Ellie's grandmother, standing behind the counter. Younger then. Maybe 40. Her hair dark, her smile wide. She's holding up a first edition. Something valuable. Her eyes are shining with pride. That picture is Ellie's favorite. She looks at it every night. Before she locks up. Before she turns off the lights. She looks at her grandmother's face. And she remembers. The bell above the door jingles. Someone is coming in. Ellie looks up from her book. The cat doesn't stir. The rain seems to pause for just a moment. And then, a figure steps inside. It's a man, maybe 60, maybe older. It's hard to tell. He's wearing a brown jacket, canvas, the kind that's been through a lot of weather. His hat is dripping. One of those old fishing hats, wide brim, green and faded. He takes it off as he enters, shakes the water from it, looks around the shop like he's seeing it for the first time, or like he's remembering it from a long time ago. His face is weathered, lines around his eyes, around his mouth, the kind of lines that come from years of squinting into the sun, years of smiling, years of living. Evening, he says. His voice is low, warm, like gravel wrapped in velvet. Evening, Ellie replies. She sets down her book, not closed, just turned over, holding her place. The man walks deeper into the shop. His boots are wet. They leave prints on the old wood floor. But nobody minds. The floor has seen 1,000,000 footprints. A few more won't hurt. He heads for the back corner, the section that says Pacific Northwest History on a small brass plate. He seems to know exactly where he's going. Ellie watches him for a moment, then goes back to her book, But she keeps one eye on him, not suspicious, just curious. The way you're curious about a stranger who seems like they might have a story. Outside. Outside. A truck rumbles past. It's the only sound for a moment. That deep diesel grumble. The splash of tires through a puddle. Then it fades. Swallowed by the rain. By the night. The clock on the wall says 7:51 now. It's an old clock, round face, black numbers, white background. It runs about 3 minutes slow, has for years. But nobody adjusts it. It would feel wrong to change it now. The fire in the back room crackles. A log shifts, settles deeper into the coals. Sparks fly up, disappear into the dark mouth of the flue. The warmth spreads through the shop. You can feel it in the air, in your bones, in the way your shoulders drop, in the way your breathing slows. Chapter. Let me tell you about Millbrook in the fall. The leaves turn late here. October mostly. Sometimes early November. The maples go first. Bright red, almost shocking against the gray sky. Then the oaks, golden and brown. Then the aspens, trembling yellow. The air smells different in the fall. Wet earth, decaying leaves, wood smoke from chimneys. That particular scent of the season changing, of something ending, of something else about to begin. People move slower in the fall. At least, they do here. Summer is busy. Tourists, hikers, people passing through on their way to the coast. But fall. Two. Pew. Two. Prash. Pew. Prash. The ice cream shop on 3rd Street puts up its shutters. The fishing boats come in for the winter. Everything contracts, draws inward, gets cozy. That's the word, isn't it? Cozy. It's what this place is. What this night is. What this feeling is. That sense of being sheltered. Protected. Held by the world instead of fighting against it. Just excram. Mun.4. The man in the corner has found what he's looking for. He's holding a book. Large. Hardcover. The dust jacket is missing. The spine says, History of the Columbia River Tribes. It's old. Maybe from the 1950s. Maybe earlier. He brings it to the counter. Sets it down gently. Like it's something precious. Which, in a way, it is. This one, he says. Ellie picks it up. Checks the price written in pencil on the inside cover. $24. A fair price for what it is. Good choice, she says. We don't see this edition very often. The man nods. Had a copy once, long time ago. Lost it in a move. He pauses. Or maybe someone borrowed it and never brought it back. That happens with good books. Ellie smiles. That's what my grandmother used to say. The best books are the ones that never come home. The man looks at her. Something in his eyes. Recognition, maybe. Or just the comfort of shared understanding. Your grandmother owned this place? She did. For 40 years. Helen Wright. Ellie stops. Looks at him more closely now. You knew her? The man smiles. A slow smile. Full of memories. I used to come here when I was young, just a kid. She always let me sit in the back, by the fire, even when I didn't buy anything. He shakes his head. Kindest woman I ever met. Ellie feels something in her chest. That familiar ache, the one that comes when someone remembers the people we've lost. She passed 3 years ago, she says. Left me the shop. The man nods. Doesn't say he's sorry. Doesn't offer condolences. Just. Tro. Acknowledges it. Sometimes that's enough. Sometimes that's better. She'd be proud, he says. Place looks just like I remember. The transaction is complete. The book is wrapped in brown paper, tied with twine, the way they've always done it here, the way they'll keep doing it, as long as the shop stands. The man tucks it under his arm, tips his wet hat, and heads for the door. Stay dry out there, Ellie calls. He turns, smiles one more time. In this weather? Not likely. And then he's gone. The bell jingles. The door closes, and the rain fills the silence he leaves behind. Trish. Time passes slowly in a bookshop, especially on a night like this. Especially when the rain is falling and the world outside is dark and wet. The minutes stretch, become something softer, something you can sink into. Ellie goes back to her book. The cat continues to sleep. The fire continues to burn. And somewhere. The town of Millbrook continues to exist. Quiet, steady, unchanging. There's the diner, open until midnight. Only 3 customers right now. 2 truckers at the counter. An old woman in the corner booth. She comes every night. Orders the same thing. Black coffee. A slice of apple pie. She reads the newspaper from front to back. Takes her time. Nobody rushes her. Nobody would dream of it. There's the gas station at the edge of town. The last stop before the highway. A teenager behind the counter. She's doing homework. Pre-calculus, not her favorite subject. The fluorescent lights hum overhead. The candy bars sit in their rows. Waiting. Patient. Like everything else in this town. There's the sheriff's office. Deputy Mike is on duty tonight. He's watching an old western on the small TV in the break room. His feet up on the desk. His coffee growing cold. Nothing ever happens on nights like this, and he's grateful for it. P. T. Back in the bookshop. T. Something is happening. Not something dramatic, not something loud, just T. A shift, a settling. The way a house settles after everyone goes to bed. Ellie finishes her chapter, closes her book. Not forever. Just for now. She stands. Stretches. Her back pops in 3 places. She's been sitting too long. She walks through the aisles, not looking for anything, just moving. Feeling the books around her, running her fingers along the spines. Each one a world, each one a doorway, each one waiting for someone to open it. She passes the fiction section. The mysteries, the romances, the science fiction with their faded covers and bold titles. She passes the children's section, the picture books, the chapter books, the young adult novels that changed her life when she was 13. She passes the poetry, the philosophy, the religion, the self-help books that promise answers to questions we're not sure how to ask. And she ends up where she always ends up. In the corner, by the window, in the section marked Local Authors. This is her favorite part of the store. These are the books written by people from here, or about here. Stories set in these hills, these valleys, these rain-soaked streets. Some of them are published by big houses. Some are self-published. Some are just bound photocopies. It doesn't matter. They're all here, all equal, all part of the story of this place. Ellie pulls one down. It's a slim volume. Poetry. Written by a woman who lived in Millbrook in the 1970s. She only published this one book, 63 poems, most of them about the rain, about the way it changes things, the way it washes things clean. Ellie opens to a random page, reads a few lines. The rain doesn't care about your plans. It falls anyway. And you learn to love it. Because what else can you do? She smiles, puts the book back, takes a breath. The shop smells like home. It's 8:22 now. The clock on the wall says 8:19. But we know better. The rain has settled into a steady rhythm. Not heavy. Not light. Just back there. Constant. Reliable. Like a heartbeat. Like breathing. Like something you could set your life to. Ellie makes her way back to the counter. Hemingway has shifted position. He's on his back now. Paws in the air. Belly exposed. Trusting the world completely. The way only cats and children can. She doesn't disturb him, just walks past, into the back room. The fire has burned down some. She adds another log. A small one. Maple, maybe. Or oak. It catches quickly. The flames lick up around it, hungry but patient, knowing the wood will give itself in time. She sits in one of the mismatched chairs, the one by the window, the one with the worn cushion, the one that her grandmother used to sit in from here. She can see the alley, the brick wall, the drain pipe, the rain running down in silver streams. She can see a small patch of sky, gray and heavy. No stars tonight, just clouds, layer upon layer, like blankets, like protection. She thinks about her grandmother, about the stories she used to tell, about the way she could make any book come alive, about the way she believed, truly believed, that stories could save people, could heal them, could show them who they really were. Every book is a mirror, she used to say. We find ourselves in the pages, even when we're reading about someone else entirely. Ellie didn't understand that when she was young. She does now. WR. The bell jingles again. She doesn't move at first, just listens. Hears footsteps. Light. Hesitant. Someone who's not sure they should be here. She waits. Gives them time. Sometimes people need a moment. Need to adjust. Need to let the shop work its magic before they're ready to interact with another human. When she finally walks out, she sees a young woman. Maybe 19, maybe 20. She's soaking wet. Her hair is plastered to her face. Her jacket is thin, too thin for this weather. She's shivering. But she's not moving toward the fire. Not moving toward anything. Just standing there. In the entrance. Looking lost. Ellie approaches slowly. The way you approach a frightened animal. Carefully. Without sudden movements. Can I help you find something? The young woman looks up. Her eyes are red. From the rain? From crying? Hard to tell. I needed somewhere to be, she says. Her voice is small, barely a whisper. Ellie nods. Understands. Has seen this before. The bookshop is that kind of place. The kind of place people come when they don't know where else to go. You can be here, Ellie says. Stay as long as you like. There's coffee in the back. And a fire, if you want to warm up. The young woman hesitates, then nods. Just barely. A tiny movement. But it's enough. Ellie leads her to the back room, pours her a cup of coffee. It's still warm. Just barely. But it's something. It's something to hold on to. Tuple see. They sit by the fire, not talking at first, just sitting, letting the warmth seep in, letting the silence do its work. The young woman wraps her hands around the mug. Her knuckles are white. Her nails are bitten short. There's a bruise on her wrist, yellowing. Old. Ellie notices. Says nothing. Some stories aren't ready to be told yet. Outside, the constant companion, the background music of this place. Finally, the young woman speaks. "I walked here," she says, "from the bus station." "It's not far, but I didn't have anywhere else to go." Ellie waits, lets her continue. Or not. Her choice. I'm supposed to be going somewhere, but I don't know if I want to go anymore. She pauses, takes a sip of coffee. I don't know what I want anymore. Ellie leans back in her chair, looks at the fire, at the way the flames move, always changing, always the same. When I was about your age, she says, I almost left this town, had a bus ticket, had a bag packed, was going to go to Seattle, start over, become someone new. The young woman looks at her, waiting. I got as far as the highway, and then I just stopped, turned around, came back. Ellie shakes her head. I never really knew why. I just knew I wasn't ready to leave. Not yet. Maybe not ever. She looks at the young woman, sees herself. 20 years ago, different circumstances, same feeling. Sometimes the place you're running from, turns out to be the place you belong. The young woman is quiet for a long moment. The fire crackles. The rain whispers. The shop breathes around them. What if you don't have a place? She asks. What if you've never had one? Ellie considers this. It's not a small question. It's the kind of question that deserves a real answer, not a platitude, not a comfort, the truth. Then maybe you haven't found it yet, she says. Or maybe you're sitting in it right now, and you just don't know it. The young woman looks around the back room, at the photographs on the walls, at the worn rug, at the stained glass lamp casting its colored shadows, at the window with its silver streams of rain. It's nice here, she admits. Warm. It's always warm, Ellie says. That's the point. Tea. Her name is Maya. She offers it eventually. After the second cup of coffee. After the shivering stops. After the color starts to return to her cheeks. Maya. 20 years old. From California originally. Then Nevada. Then a string of places that blur together when she talks about them. Foster homes. Group homes. A cousin's couch for 6 months. A boyfriend's apartment for 3 weeks. Until that stopped working too. She doesn't tell the whole story. Not tonight. But she tells enough. Enough for Ellie to understand. Enough for the silence between them to feel less like strangers and more like something else. She was heading to Portland. Had a lead on a job. Waitressing. Nothing special. But it was something. A start. The bus doesn't leave until morning, she says. 6:15. I just needed somewhere to wait. Ellie nods, looks at the clock on the wall. The one in the back room. It's even slower than the one out front. Says 8:31, probably closer to 8:40 in real time. That's a long time to wait. In the rain. in the cold, with nowhere to go. "You can stay here," Ellie says. "It's not a question. Not really. Just a statement." A fact. Maya looks at her, surprised. Suspicious, maybe, the way people get when kindness feels unfamiliar. "The shop closes at 9, Ellie continues. "But I live upstairs. There's a couch." It's not much, but it's dry. And warm. And you can catch a few hours of sleep before your bus. Maya doesn't answer right away. She's calculating, weighing, trying to figure out the catch. Because there's always a catch. That's what life has taught her. But she's tired. So tired. And the fire is warm. And the coffee is good. And this woman with the hazel eyes and the oversized sweater. She doesn't seem dangerous. She seems like someone who reads too many books and talks to her cat and has never once raised her voice in anger. "Okay," Maya says, quietly, like she's afraid to say it too loud, afraid it might break something. "Okay. Thank you." Bum bum. The last customers leave at 8:45. A couple, middle-aged. They've been browsing the travel section for almost an hour. They leave with 2 books. A guide to Iceland, a memoir about hiking the Pacific Crest Trail. Dreams for someday, for when the kids are grown, for when there's time. Ellie rings them up, wraps the books in brown paper, wishes them a good night. The bell jingles. The door closes. And then it's just her. And Maya. And Hemingway, who has finally woken up and is now sitting in the window, watching the rain with ancient, knowing eyes. The closing routine is simple. Check the back door. Locked. Turn off the coffee maker. Done. Count the register. $47 today. Not great. Not terrible. Enough. Lower the lights, one by one. The brass lamps click off. The shadows grow longer. The shop settles into its nighttime self. Darker. Quieter. More intimate. Ellie leaves one light on. The one in the back room. Near the fire. It casts a glow through the doorway, like a beacon, like a promise. She finds Maya still sitting by the window, still holding her empty mug, still staring at the rain. "Ready?" Ellie asks. Maya nods, stands, follows her through a door she hadn't noticed before. A door that leads to a narrow staircase. The stairs creak. Of course they do. Everything in this building creaks. It's how you know it's alive. The apartment above the shop is small. 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, a kitchen that's really just a corner of the living room. But it's enough. It's more than enough. The walls are lined with books. Of course they are, overflowing from the shop below, spilling upward like a flood of stories. They're stacked on tables, piled on chairs, tucked into every corner. There's barely room to move. But somehow, Spall, it doesn't feel cluttered. It feels full, in the best way. The couch is old, velvet, a deep burgundy that's faded to something softer over the years. It's covered in pillows, mismatched, different patterns, different textures, like a patchwork of comfort. "The bathroom's through there," Ellie says, pointing. "Towels are in the cabinet. Help yourself." She pulls a blanket from a chest by the window. Handmade, crocheted, greens and blues and grays, like the forest, like the rain, like this place. "My grandmother made this," she says, handing it to Maya. "It's warmer than it looks." Maya takes it, holds it like something precious. Because it is. I'll be up for a little while, Ellie continues, reading. If you need anything. Otherwise, just rest. The alarm's set for 5. That'll give you time to catch your bus. She starts to walk away, toward her bedroom, toward her own books, her own world. Ellie? She turns. Maya is standing there, the blanket clutched to her chest, her eyes still red. But something else in them now, something that might be hope, or the beginning of it. Why are you doing this? She asks. You don't know me. I could be anyone. Ellie thinks about this, about all the possible answers, about her grandmother, about the man who came in tonight, about the books on the shelves and the stories they contain. Because someone did it for me once, she says, and because. This is what this place is for. She gestures around, at the books, at the walls, at everything. It's not just a shop, she says. It never was. It's a refuge, a rest stop, a place where people can catch their breath. My grandmother knew that. She built it that way on purpose. She pauses, chooses her next words carefully. Everyone needs somewhere to land, even if it's just for one night, even if they're just passing through. Maya doesn't say anything, but she nods, and something in her face relaxes. Just a little. Just enough. Get some sleep, Ellie says. Tomorrow's a long day. And she disappears into her room, leaving Maya alone with the books, with the rain, with the blanket that smells like old wool and lavender, and something else, something that might be safety. 1W. Through the quiet, it will rain until just before dawn, and then it will stop. Suddenly. Like a curtain falling, like a breath held and then released. But for now, it falls. Against the window of the apartment, against the skylight in the shop below, against the rooftops of Millbrook, against the highway and the hills and the farms beyond. It falls on the sleeping and the waking, on the travelers and the homebodies, on everyone and everything. Maya lies on the couch. She's not sleeping yet, just lying there, wrapped in the crocheted blanket, watching the shadows on the ceiling, listening to the rain. She thinks about the bus, about Portland, about the job that may or may not be waiting for her, about all the places she's been, all the places she's going. And for the first time in a long time, she's not afraid. Not completely. The fear is still there, underneath. It always will be. But tonight, it's quiet, muffled, held at bay by the warmth of this place, by the kindness of a stranger, by the simple act of being welcomed. She closes her eyes and sleeps. In her room. Ellie is still awake. She's sitting in bed, propped up on pillows. The lamp on her nightstand casts a small circle of light, just enough to read by, just enough to see. The book in her hands is her grandmother's journal, not a published book, just a notebook. Leather-bound, worn soft with years of handling, the pages are filled with her grandmother's handwriting. Small and neat, cramped in some places, sprawling in others. It's not a diary exactly, more like a collection of thoughts, observations, snippets of overheard conversations, descriptions of customers who wandered in and out of the shop. Ellie reads it sometimes, when she needs to feel close to her, when she needs guidance, when she needs to remember why she's doing this. Tonight. Quote, She opens to a random page. October 14, 1987. A man came in today. Didn't buy anything, just stood by the window for an hour looking out at the rain. When he left, he said, "Thank you." I didn't ask why. I didn't need to. Some people just need a place to stand. Ellie smiles, runs her finger over the ink. Faded now, but still there. Still speaking across the years. She turns to another page. March 3rd, 1992. Had a young mother in today. Her baby was crying. She looked exhausted, overwhelmed. I made her a cup of tea, held the baby while she browsed. She didn't buy anything either. But when she left, she was smiling. That's worth more than any sale. And another. August 22, 2001. Ellie helped in the shop today. She's getting old enough now. 11. Almost 12. She shelved an entire cart of books without being asked. And then she sat in the corner and read for 3 hours straight. She's going to be a reader. I can tell. The kind who disappears into stories. The kind who finds herself in the pages. I'm so proud of her. I hope she knows. Ellie's eyes sting. She closes the journal, holds it to her chest, takes a breath. She knows now. She knows. But not empty. Never empty. There are thousands of books, each one a universe, each one a life. They sit on their shelves in the darkness, waiting, patient. They've been waiting for years, decades, some of them for over a century. They don't mind the waiting. That's what books do. They wait until someone needs them, until someone is ready, and then they open. And everything changes. In the window, Hemingway sits. He's watching the street, the rain, the empty sidewalk. His eyes are half closed. His tail twitches occasionally. He's not sleeping. Just chest, observing. The way cats do, like they know something we don't. Maybe he sees something out there. A shadow moving, a figure passing. Maybe he sees nothing at all, just the rain and the light and the endless night. He yawns, shows his teeth, sharp and white, then settles back, curls his tail around himself. He'll stay there until morning, keeping watch, guarding the shop the way he has for 9 years, the way he will for however many more he has left. Good cat. Good, good cat. Or most of it does. There are always a few awake. The deputy at the sheriff's station, the night clerk at the motel out by the highway, the old man who lives alone on Burke Street and hasn't slept more than 3 hours at a time in years. But the rest, they sleep in their beds, in their houses, wrapped in blankets and darkness, dreaming whatever dreams come to people in places like this. Quiet dreams, ordinary dreams, dreams of nothing and everything. The diner closes at midnight. The last customer leaves. The waitress wipes down the counter one more time, counts her tips. $16. Not great, not terrible. She pulls on her coat, turns off the neon coffee cup, steps out into the rain. The gas station stays open all night, but nobody comes. The teenager finishes her pre-calculus homework, gets most of it right. Hopefully. She plays a game on her phone, watches the clock, waits for morning, for the end of her shift, for real life to resume. The old woman from the diner is home now, in her small house on Maple Avenue. She's getting ready for bed, brushing her teeth, turning off the lights, climbing under covers that she slept under for 40 years, since her husband was alive, since her children lived at home, since everything was different. She doesn't feel lonely. She's past that now. She feels content, complete, ready for whatever comes next. She closes her eyes and sleeps. 10. Dawn comes slowly. It doesn't burst, doesn't explode, just seeps in, through the cracks in the clouds, through the spaces between the rain, which has finally stopped. The sky goes from black to gray, from gray to something lighter. Not blue yet, not quite, but getting there. The birds wake first, always do. They start their chorus in the trees, in the eaves, on the telephone wires. Not a beautiful song, more like chatter, like gossip, like neighbors catching up after a long night apart. The streetlights flicker off. One by one, their job done for another day. The first car of the morning passes down Main Street, the delivery truck for the hardware store. It rumbles past the bookshop without stopping, turns the corner, disappears. Steam rises from the wet pavement. The sun isn't visible yet, but you can feel it, just beyond the horizon, waiting to crest, inside the apartment above Cedar Street Books. An alarm goes off. It's quiet, just a chime, not jarring, not demanding, just a gentle reminder that the world is waking up. That time is moving forward, that there are buses to catch and lives to live. Maya opens her eyes. For a moment, she doesn't know where she is. The ceiling is wrong. The sounds are wrong. Everything is wrong. And then she remembers the bookshop, the coffee, the fire, the woman named Ellie who gave her a place to sleep, the crocheted blanket that's still wrapped around her, warm and soft and smelling like lavender. She sits up, looks around. The apartment is still dim, just the early light coming through the window, but she can see the books, all those books, everywhere she looks. She smiles, just a little, just enough. Ellie is already awake. She's in the kitchen corner, making coffee. The old percolator bubbles on the stove. That same rich, earthy smell. The smell that means morning. That means beginning. That means another day. There's toast if you want it, she says without turning around. And some jam. The raspberry's good, local. Maya stands, folds the blanket carefully, sets it on the couch. She feels strange, uncertain, like she's trespassing even though she was invited. "Thank you," she says, "for everything." Ellie turns now, smiles. She looks different in the morning light. Younger, somehow, more alive. Her hair is down, loose around her shoulders. Her eyes are that green-brown hazel, clear and kind. "You have time," she says. "The bus doesn't leave for another hour. Sit, eat, wake up." So Maya does. She sits at the small table by the window, the one covered in books that Ellie quickly clears. She eats toast with raspberry jam, drinks coffee that's stronger than she expected, but exactly what she needs. And she looks out the window. The rain has stopped. The sky is still gray. But there are breaks in the clouds now, patches of something lighter, something almost blue. The street below is waking up. A car passes. A woman walks a small dog. Someone opens the door of the diner across the way. The smell of bacon drifts up, mixing with the coffee. It's ordinary, all of it, just a regular morning in a regular town. But to Maya, It feels like something more, like a promise, like a glimpse of what life could be if she let it. Tram. At 5:45. Tram. They walk downstairs together, through the apartment, down the narrow stairs, through the door into the back room of the shop. The fire has gone out overnight, just cold ashes now, but the wood stove still holds some warmth, residual, fading. But there, they walk through the dark aisles, past the shelves of sleeping books, past the counter where Hemingway has resumed his post. He looks at them with those ancient eyes, blinks once, then goes back to staring at nothing. At the front door, they stop. "You'll be okay," Ellie says. "It's not a question. It's a statement, a belief, a hope." Maya nods. She's not sure if it's true, but she wants it to be. And maybe that's enough, if you're ever back this way. Ellie starts. "I'll stop in," Maya finishes. "I promise." Ellie reaches into her pocket, pulls out a book. A small one. Paperback. She presses it into Maya's hands. "For the bus," she says. "It's a long ride to Portland." Maya looks at the cover. It's a collection of poetry by the woman who lived in Millbrook in the 1970s, the one who wrote about the rain. "I can't take this," she says. "You're not taking it," Ellie replies. "I'm giving it to you. There's a difference." She opens the door. The bell jingles. The morning air rushes in. Cool and clean, washed by the rain. "The best books are the ones that never come home," Ellie says. "Remember." Maya remembers. She steps outside, onto the wet sidewalk, into the gray morning light. She turns back once. Sees Ellie standing in the doorway. Sees Hemingway in the window. Sees the sign above the door, Cedar Street Books, forest green letters on a cream-colored background, weathered but welcoming. "Thank you," she says again, and she means it, for everything. For the coffee and the couch and the blanket, for the kindness that asked nothing in return, for the reminder that there are still places in the world where people are good to each other. Just because they can be. She walks toward the bus station. The sun is finally rising now, breaking through the clouds, turning everything gold. The puddles on the sidewalk catch the light, shimmer like mirrors, like little windows into another world. She doesn't look back again, but she doesn't need to. She'll remember this place, this night, this woman who opened her door to a stranger. She'll carry it with her to Portland and wherever else she goes, and maybe someday she'll come back. Someday. Ellie watches her go, all the way to the corner, until she turns, until she disappears, swallowed by the morning, by the world, by whatever comes next. Then she closes the door. The bell jingles one last time, and the shop is quiet again. She looks around. At the shelves, at the books, at the cat in the window, at the light coming in through the old, wavy glass. It's Tuesday. The shop opens at 10. She has a few hours still. Time to restock, to dust, to make a fresh pot of coffee for the day ahead. But first, she walks to the back room, to the photographs on the wall, to the one from 1995, her grandmother, younger, smiling, holding up that first edition. She touches the frame, lightly, just with her fingertips. "Morning, Gran," she whispers. "You would have liked her." She was lost. But I think she'll find her way. She stands there for a moment longer, just her and the memory and the silence. Then she turns, gets to work, gets ready for another day. The fire needs to be relit. The books need to be loved. The door needs to be opened for whoever might wander in next. Because this is what the shop is for. This is what it's always been for. A refuge, a rest stop, a place where people can catch their breath. A bookshop on Cedar Street, in a town called Millbrook, in the Pacific Northwest, where the rain falls soft and the stories never end. Nah. And if you're ever passing through, nah. If you're ever lost or tired or just need somewhere to be, nah. You'll find it at the far end of the main street, past the old movie theater, past the antique shop with the rocking chairs on the porch. The sign is hand-painted, forest green letters on a cream-colored background. Weathered but readable. Cedar Street Books. Push open the heavy oak door. Listen for the bell. Let the smell of old paper and coffee and wood wash over you. Find a chair by the fire. Pull a book from the shelf. Stay as long as you like. You're welcome here. You've always been welcome here.